Good evening, YouTube. Today we're going to rip a box of 1986 Topps. Picked this up today at a local card show. This box is absolutely mint. There's not a dent, ding, scratch, still sealed. It's not faded, it's not dusty, it's just absolutely in really good shape. Probably should leave it like this, but we're gonna go ahead and rip it open for you guys. See what we get. Maybe we can get some nice Don Mattingly's or Nolan Ryan's out of this. Go ahead and open this up. See, what do we got in here? Used to be 35 cents. In the back, we got Carlton Fisk, Dwight Gooden, Pedro Guerrero, and Ron Gertie. We got 15 cards per pack. Go ahead and get a stack of these out, and they do get the gum in them. We'll start ripping, see what we get. It's not stuck. Hall of Famer right off the back, Jack Morris. Ed Romero, Mickey Hatcher, Tippy Martinez, Dave Schmidt, Jody Davis, Randy St. Clair, Jeff Lottie, Stormy Davis, Junior Ortiz, Mark Hill, Checklist, Rick Shue, Milt Thompson. A little wax staining right there. Ken Phillips, Willie McGee, that's kind of light on the left. Roger Craig, Joe Cowley, printer mark, Bobby Cox, John Butcher, Terry Winfield, Lynn Sucka, Charles Hudson, Greg Nettles, Carney Lansford, Scott Fletcher. Dave Engel, Marty Castillo, Max Venable, Mookie Wilson, Leighton, Roger Clemens. Really, really, really light on the top. Neil Allen, Steve Kemp, Lloyd Mosley, Chris Chamberlain, Brett Butler, Bob Nipper, I think we're gonna get these. I think the cello or the vending box would probably be best. That way you don't get the wax in the gum. Gorman Thomas, Jim Wolford, Paul Rung, Padres leader, Jim Morrison, Ken Dele, Mike Jones, Dave Sachs, Gary Matthews, Joe Niekro, Mark Sullivan, Mike Brown, and Lee Lacy. David Green, Rick Waits, Tom Herr, Dan Quisenberry, Chris Brown, that was like really, really bad. Tony Gwynn, heavy on the right. Larry McWilliams, Rick Dempsey, Dave Stapleton, Andre Robertson. Bob Jones, Rick Miller, Bob Rogers, Bob Grinch, Ramon Romero, Tom Filer, Johnny Ray, George Wright, Danny Cox, Phil Niekro, way out center, Bob Carney, Chet Lemon, John Franco, Donnie Moore, Dan Ford, Mike Peglaguro, Charlie Lee, Jeff Stone, Ron Darling, Jeff Reardon, Carlos Diaz, Jose De Leon, Daryl Boston, Checklist, Cal Ripken All-Star. These have to have the worst centering I've ever seen for 86s. And the gum stuck. Craig Gerber, Joe Odisa, Tom Filer, Jim Slanton, Darrell Miller, Earl Weaver. Horrible. John Tudor, Richard Dotson, Tom Nieto, Fred Lynn, Tom Waddell, Don Baylor. Actually, that one's actually not too bad. Steve Sachs. Not too bad. Jim Slanton, Cecil Cooper, Mike Young, Jerry Koosman, Tom Hume, Kevin Chapman, Nolan Ryan. Now that one actually looks pretty centered. We'll sleeve that one up. Mike Flanagan, Rick Roden, Wally Blackman, Ivan Calderon, Rafael Ramirez, Paul Monitor. That's just horrible. I mean, look at that. Bill Oman, Vance Law. Kurt Wilkerson, Jeff Diedman, Cardinals leaders, Ed Nunez. Oh, that's just completely stuck together. Yeah, that's just horrible. Cecil Fielder. That's not bad. Sean Dunston. A little bit of a soft corner there, but it's pretty centered. Buddy Bell, Buddy Herzog. That's a little candid. Denny Gonzalez. Bobby Brown, Randy St. Clair. Already starting to see some doubles. Tim Flannery, Kurt Wilkerson, Porsche, Tony Fernandez, Greg Milton, Willie McGee, All-Star, Larry Sheets, Tito Landrum, I didn't like these when they first come out. I started collecting back in '84 and '85. And then these came out. I just did not like the looks of them, but now it's actually not too bad. It's kind of grew on me. Steve Lyon, Ed Lynch, Keith Hernandez. That's a really rough card. Darrell Evans. Checklist. Fernando Valenzuela. Turn back the clock. Rest in peace. Lonnie Smith. Hubie Brooks. Bob McClure. Shane Raleigh. Wow. Willie Upshaw. Gene Garber. Wow, look at that. Gum really destroyed that one. Yeah, folks, I think if you buy these, you'll just be better off just not opening it and hanging on to it and selling for big price later. That's what you do. I personally don't sell cards, so. Steve Kemp, Dave Stapleton, Ozzie Virgil, Madden, Rudy Law, Larry Anderson, Steve Trout, Ron Robertson, Augusto, Bass, Bob Baylor. That was actually pretty centered. Like we're almost halfway. Still not seen a Don Mattingly yet. Bob Shirley, Jim Acker, Roy Lee Jackson, Bill Rucker, Hinkie, Tibbs, Smith, Lansford, McWilliams, Wynn, Castillo. Also, what I do like about these is there's none of those 50 million different parallels or anything like that. It's just base. What you get is what you get. Duncan, Vita Blue, Honeycutt, Clancy, DeJesus, Lou Whitaker. He used to be pretty hot back in the day. That would have been a pretty good card back then. Langston, Darwin, Greg Gross, Gary Carter. Shane the Gum got that one. Scurry, Greg Pryor, Mario Soto, Brown, Young, Rod Carew, and it's just all over the place. Pete Rose, through the years. Another Jack Morris. It's actually better centered than the other one. Reynolds. Manning, Tippy Martinez. And the gum really destroyed this one, Terry Harper. It is all warped and everything. Wheel, Tony Perez, Tony La Russa, Holland, Crawford, Powers, Pedro Guerrero, Tillman, Dick Williams, Dave Conception, Jim Frey, Gorder, Welsh, I like the 85s a lot better than these, but nowadays 85 box 85s going for $500-600. It's just insane. Hard to believe that. Used to be able to pick up a whole box when I was young for little to nothing. Well, my mom would. I don't see how kids today are even collecting the price of these things. Larissa, Twins leaders, Coles, Red leaders, Deedman, Tigers leaders pack, I guess. Fitzgerald, Meekum, Santana, Steve Carlton. That's just horrible. Kind of cocked and up. Randy Bush, Ron Gertie, Brett Butler, Jim Gott, Naran, Tony Perez, and the gum got it, unfortunately, and it's actually not bad. Yeah, I would figure. Deion James, Steve Lyon, Ed Lynch, Keith Hernandez, Pardone, Evans, and checklist. Calf, Billy Martin, Dave Stewart, Chuck Porter, another checklist, George Frazier, that's actually a nice card. Cardinals leaders, Dave Oops, Alvin Davis, Steve Carlton, heavy on the right. White Sox leaders, Danny Gladden, Spike Owen. Ken Dixon, Don Sutton. It's not too bad, it's a little thick right there. Blue Jays, Bill Swift, Rick Langford, Ken Howell, Andrew Dawson, Lamar Hoyt, Steve Balboni, Kirby Puckett, not too bad. Deedman, Keith Hernandez. These Hall of Fame people all sleeve up after you get done here. Dave Winfield, Milt Wilcox, Pedro Guerrero, another Pete Rose, Tom Seaver. Unfortunately, it's down just a little bit. George Brett, Eric Show, Lance Parrish, Jim Gott, Jack Clark, Stuper, Billy Hatcher, Randy Bush, Hubbard. Still not seeing a Don Mattingly. Mr. Donnie Baseball is hiding. Cecil Fielder, it's all the way to the left. Sean Dunston, all the way to the right. Buddy Bell, all the way to the bottom. Whitey Herzog. Dusty Baker. Tom Seaver. Dave Palmer. Steve Kemp, Huerta, Lance Parrish, Bruce Bichette, whatnot, Stuper, Vita Blue, Dennis Erickson, Eccleston. That's actually not bad. Tim Walsh, Rod Scary. Bobby Brown, Randy St. Clair, Mike Jones, Dave Sachs, Gary Matthews. It's like the fourth card I've seen of that one. Joe Carter, Greg Nettles. Steve Kemp. I haven't seen quite a few people. I haven't seen Ryan Sandberg either. And Smith, Candy Maldonado, another Pete Rose, Billy Martin. Speaking of the devil, there's Ryan Sandberg. Little heavy right here. Tom Kudensky, Doug Flynn, John Tudor, Alan Bannister, Don Slott. This was the very first player's card that I ever got. Not this one, but Don Slott. And that was the very first baseball card I ever got. He was in a cello pack, and it was on the front of it. Got it at KB Toys a long time ago. Luis Sanchez, Milton, Hewlett, Miller, Earl Weaver, Bo Diaz, Gary Ward, Bodnick, Snyder, Jay Johnstone, Ron Hassey, Upshaw, Sorensen. Garcia, Gorman, Bruce Sutter. That one actually is pretty centered. Good corners too. Marty Bystrom, Jim Rice. Thick right there. Pirates leaders. Pete Rose, record breaker. Melvin Smith, Hubie Brooks, and Snyder. Jeff Lottie, Mike Jones, Dave Sachs, Gary Matthews, Checklist, Joe Necro, Mark Sullivan, Householder, Scott Sanders, Keith Hernandez, Royals leader, Gary Ward, Steve Carlton. Wow. That looks like it got wet. That's the gum. That's just horrible. That's Nolan Ryan too. All right, we got 7 packs remaining. Yeah, I see wax from this old. I would just pass, folks. It's just, I don't think it's going to be ever worth it. Ron Kittle, Frank Williams, Pascal Perez, Guyo, Flannery, Brock, Mason, Thon, Kingman. Soto. I haven't even got a World Horsizer. Brown, Young, Spielman, McClure, Denny Martinez, Bud Black, Jay Howell, Keith Moreland, Larry Parrish, Miller, Dave Parker. Little, Tunnel, Campbell, Al Oliver, Bob Welch, Dick Williams, Dave Conception, Frey, and a Heap. Engel, Phil Necro, Jeff Reardon, Alan Wiggins, Eddie Murray, Tom Seaver, Dave Palmer, Cerrone, Leonard, Padres leader, Bob Boone, Gary Ward, another Pete Rose, Sutcliffe, Carlton Fisk, Brett Saberhagen, Bobby Brown, R.J. Reynolds, Twins leaders. 2 packs to go. Been nice to get a Glenn Brummer. I don't know if any of you guys know who he is. He was St. Louis Cardinals in '86. He went to the Rangers, but he won the '82 World Series for St. Louis by stealing home base. He lives down the road from me. George Hendrick. Nice guy. I've got several of his cards autographed now. He gave me a picture of him stealing the base, personalized to me for Christmas. Bill Campbell, Mike Davis, Larry Sorensen, Reggie Jackson, Bob Gibson. I was hoping I was going to pull one of his cards, that way I could give it to him. I gave him one of his '84 Topps Tiffany's. He autographed the second one for me. Real nice guy. Wow, look at that. That's just horrible. Kevin Gross, Bert Hooton, Ken Daly, Bill Washington, Mario Soto, Eddie Murray, Tom Gorman, Matt Young, Jim Rice. No Don Mattingly's, no Oral Hershiser's. Wow, we didn't get quite a few stars on this one, but we didn't even get any Wade Boggs. We got 1 Ryan Sandberg, 1 Nolan Ryan, 1 Roger Clemens, and 1 Tony Gwynn. Pretty poor, pretty poor. But that'll do it for today, folks. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Maybe we could do some more of this, but definitely not any more '86 wax. That was just horrible. Might try one of the '86 vending boxes next. Don't know. See if we have any better luck. But have a good evening, folks.